Calimera. Hello. I will continue in English because my Greek is not good enough to continue in Greek. So my name is Frederic Schilton. I'm solution marketing at Mitel, working in France. So I'm going to present you the MiVoice Office mobile application today, which is really an application dedicated for the SMB market. Just as an introduction, if we look ahead, what will be the future of communication and collaboration in 3 years? Obviously, everyone thinks about having an application that will be easy to use, that will be seamless, that will be really business-oriented, and really user-friendly and with a user experience. And if we look back to what we had 3 years before, it was maybe ice age at that level. And so the purpose of the presentation is to show you how we have interviewed a lot of customers in order to build a simple application above our communication solution. So Mitel is delivering a communication solution and is leading the SMB market with many applications and many communication solutions. So the idea here is really to bring them from where we are with UC solution and to bring them to the next level or the next generation of application, what we call future communication, and we'll see how we do that. So Mitel Office applications are about all-in-one solution. It's about mobility solution, it's about communication and collaboration, of course. And what is very important is that now they are all future-proof solution because their architecture embeds what we call the cloud link gateways in order to be able to get connected to those new applications. So I'll come back to those cloud link platforms afterwards. But this is why we are future-proof, and this is a way to bring the customer who got already the UC platforms to the next generation of application. Flexible because it's the ability to deploy on-site or in the cloud, in private cloud, the system. And competitive because the SMB market is really a competitive sector where price matters, and you need to have application that is really cost effective. More? Sorry. Okay. Why it's not the same screen? Okay, I don't see the same thing. Okay, that's perfect. So, no, it's okay. I just I need to use the button rather than this. So, MiVoice Office mobile application is really about. First of all, it's a UC application dedicated for mobile, dedicated for SMB, because it's really where the communication and the telephony is critical. So the workflows goes essentially through telephony. So we have to provide a telephony system on the mobile. So the application is enabled by Mitel's cloud-link platform, and we use the cloud-link gateway to do that. And the appliance is connected to the communication solution at the customer premises. So what is CloudLink? CloudLink is a concept. It's not a product. It's a concept that is really provides and drives modern application in the cloud and interconnect with the communication solution. That really the idea is really to bring the customers who got a UC solution already in place and bring them to the cloud through this layer and the cloud platforms. So we're going to dig into that and see what are the first applications that we are providing. Again, what is important in the SMB market, as for the mid-market, is that calls matters. It is the essence of the business, and in today's mobile world, call is really the center of the business, and you cannot afford to lose a call due to the multitude of choice that the customer has in hand. If you lose a call, the percentage is very high that you will never retrieve that call. So, and then in the SMB market, you cannot afford to lose a call that way. So that's why the application is really tuned to work around and to solve that sort of issues. So the first application that we have designed through this clouding apps is MiVoice Office mobile application. There will be other applications that will be designed around and using the same technology, and that will be placed in the cloud on the cloud platforms. But MiVoice Office mobile application is the first one that has been deployed, and that has been released recently. So it's really a business desk phone in a mobile application dedicated for SMB and the mid-market businesses. It is voice-centric, easy to deploy with a very user-friendly interface, and of course it preserves the personal data. It is dedicated for SMB because they don't need to deploy, first of all, an additional server. It's already, and we'll go into that after when we'll look at the architecture. It is simply to deploy, it's simply to order, and it is really where it is really where we need to address the SMB way of working with the workflow of communication. Typically for a multiple department company, typically for company with worker working on the field or services. So this is we'll see different example of usage. So this is about collaboration and communication for small businesses. So it is really tailored on how the business work, essentially on the telephony, because you need to answer easily to calls. Some SMB company they can't afford to have a contact center in their hands. So everything is on the mobile. Everything is really dedicated to how we simplify the work of the users, of the employees, by having a simple mobile application. So again, the key word is simplicity. Simple to use, simple to deploy, simple to order, and simple to add new users. So when we look at the application itself, and you will have a chance to look at it and to have a demo on the booth at the EN and Mitel booth over there. So you will have the opportunity to see how it works, how simple it is, and how it is user-friendly. So again, it is really a voice-centric application with user experience. With Apple Call Kit integrated for iOS, and business features, because the lack that we have is really in apps is ready to have business features. So here we have presence and calls and call group, call history, real-time chat and presence, with one-to-one chat or group chat with the history of the chat. So if you want to integrate a new employee into the group, it's easy for him to catch up and see what was the discussion on the group discussion. Again, the goal is really business-oriented and really to ease the work of the employees. And of course, it has some connection with the local PBX, with the contact that you have on your own system, with the synchronization with the directory. So you have easily all the contact from your own MiVoice Office platforms and get the directory inside. Simple commercials because it's easy to order. We made a huge effort to simplify the ordering process. We made huge effort to simplify the deployment process, and it's also very easy to add users in the application. So these are the screenshot of the application. So again, you're going to see that on the booth, and you can ask for a demonstration of MiVoice Office mobile application, and you will see how easy it is to use, how easy it is to create a hand group and to chat in between users and to make calls, to have push to talk, to see the presence of other employees in order to have a very easy view. And again, the goal is to help the customer and to make sure that you answer as fast as possible and get your colleague into the conversation if needed. So again, what is in use cases? What are the common use cases that we have? It's really about helping the workers in the small businesses, in the medium businesses, right? And to leverage employees' mobile device and to stay connected. It's first of all, it drives productivity of mobile employees, but certain companies have only mobile employees. So the device becomes to be the only set or device they have in hand for mobile workers, for example. It's also it's a low-cost office communication and fast startup for new temporary employees. Again, it's easy to start to work with because it's easy to use. It's also an application for remote workers, and like I said, it's a dedicated application for mobile worker. So another customer benefit is the fact that you don't risk to miss a call. We saw that it is very important not to miss calls in this segment of the market. Again, it's critical for the market, it's critical for your business. It is important also to reduce mobile and long distance charges, and it extends your network to virtually any location because it's mobile, of course. We got the real-time presence for all employees, so it gives the ability for any person in the company to chat, to know the availability of others, and transfer a call if necessary in order to have another experience or another person to help you. Hunt group calling, so the ability to make calls in a hunt group. You just pick the people from the directory, and you build up your own group and your own hunt group, and you are able to set a call from there. Secure instant messaging, one-on-one and group chat. Synchronization with the contact from the MiVoice platform. We already spoke about that. And instant transfer calls to colleagues. You are chatting with a colleague, and you can chat. You can transfer or call a colleague directly. And the user-friendly interface. This is key for the application. So one typical example would be of use case would be a warehouse environment where a guy who is receiving a call can first of all, answer the call from anywhere in the warehouse, transfer or chat in between, receive a call, figure out that the call is not for him but for a sales guy, chat with the sales guy in parallel, and transfer the call to the sales guy, and that in with two or three clicks instantly. So that's how it works, and and this is how it's easy to use, because the guy has the view of the presence of the sales guy, and he can transfer it directly. Another example is field and delivery services. So again, those examples are purposely SMB mid-market example in order to help them in their daily work. And we have the ability to have a push-to-talk call and to transfer call as it is. So here it is another example of how seamless it is to communicate with others. So let's come back a little about how it is implemented, what's the solution architecture behind. So first of all, it has been implemented on the MiVoice Office 400 platforms. So this is the first platform who benefits of the CloudLink gateway. In fact, it's the second. There is also the 250 platform, but the 250 platform is only US and UK oriented. The 400 platform is more deployed in the EMEA market. We have more than 50 countries where we have this platform. And there are three types of deployment that are possible with the 400. The first one is with the SMB controller, which is more an SMB market dedicated platform, and it embeds directly the CloudLink gateway. So with the SMB, you don't need to have additional gateway. It is embedded into these platforms, which can scale to 200 IP users. For the install base, our customer using already a 400 with the 470, for example, that can scale to 600 users with analog port, digital port. You need to have an additional gateway, which is called the CloudLink gateway. We'll see that afterwards, and then you get connected to the CloudLink platform through that gateway. Same thing for the virtual appliance. You need the gateway, and the virtual appliance can be it's more IT oriented with VMware and Hyper-V deployment, and you need to add this gateway in addition to get connected. So the architecture is pretty simple. It's you have here on the there's an arrow maybe no. You have here on the right, you have the SMB controller at the customer premises, which is connected on the PSTN network on one hand, on the internet through a firewall, and of course you have a number of chipsets connected to the SMB controller. And the CloudLink gateway and the CloudLink interface is already embedded into this SMB controller. And you have access directly to the Mitel CloudLink platforms. And from these platforms, just deploy this on your mobile, whether it's an iOS or an Android mobile, through the 4G, through the Wi-Fi. And then you have the MiVoice Office mobile application deployed on your mobile, exactly the application that you will see on the booth. So again, this architecture is more SMB oriented, because you just need an SMBC controller, very easy to install, very easy to deploy, and once connected, you have to order only through the what we call the application to order. The ordering process only uses license for users, for mobile users. The other architecture that is very similar is for more dedicated to the medium market, is for customers who has already the 470 platforms in their premises, and they need to have and to deploy this mobile application. So we can on your device, whether it be an iOS or an Android. So this is more a media market oriented system, but again, same type of feature whether you are small, very small, or a bit larger company. So the marketing introduction has been done in 2 phases. The first introduction has started in March with major countries like France, Germany, UK, Switzerland, I think, because Switzerland is very well, the 400 is very well implemented in Switzerland. I'm not saying it's a big country, I'm just saying that we have, originally the 400 was, is the origin of the 400. And we just released a version to address most of the European countries, including Greece. So that's now available for most of the countries. So again, I think I finished up the presentation. Thank you for your attention. And again, you can see the demonstration on the booth. And if you have any question, do not hesitate to us. Thank you.
Ευχαριστούμε πολύ τον κύριο Schilton.